I've consumed so much content in productivity for the past few years. All the methods, the strategies, the tricks to overcome procrastination, and of course, all the apps. So you've probably guessed it, today I'm tier ranking all the productivity apps I've used, or at least all the apps that are deemed to be under the category productivity. This ranking is based on how it fits with how I work/think. So if I rank your favorite apps on the lower end, it doesn't mean that I think that it's a bad app or it sucks. Not at all. It means it just doesn't align with my work style. That's all. If we look at my beautiful tier ranking here, the first tier is called life-changing, because as we all know, productivity gurus always say an app changed their lives. And then the second tier is game changer, which is another popular way to describe an app. And then my middle one is good, ? Then not bad, then forgot about it. Okay, sweet, let's get started. So the first app we have here is Evernote. Okay, let me think. At one point, I subscribed to Evernote in university, and I used it for my electives, which were earth sciences, psychology, and sociology, to name a few. So it was not my main note-taking app. And since it didn't align with my main classes, which were mathematics and economics, I think I'm gonna put Evernote under not bad. Yeah. So I'm not sure if it was possible to insert notations or graphs, so that's why I'm gonna put it here. But for a regular subject, it does work. I mean, it's pretty simple, it's intuitive, it's pretty. But again, because of the notation and I guess also the folder system, I'm not that of a fan. Next one is called Flashcard Hero Lite. So I bought this one as well, and I remember being so excited to study earth sciences specifically because I finally get to experience memorizing for a class. Because did I mention I'm a math major?
I have a math degree, specialization in mathematics and economics.
But I remember I started creating flashcards 3 days before the midterm, which was not wise at all. And you guessed it, I didn't even get to review my flashcards. I didn't even finish creating flashcards for all chapters. So that's when I started thinking that creating flashcards was not efficient at all, like it was complete waste of time. I mean, of course, I could have created flashcards as I go, like not 3 days before midterms, but like every day. But it was still super inconvenient. So I think I'm gonna put this under good ? Mostly because it does work, especially for those who like creating flashcards. So it does work. It has folders, decks, and I think space repetition, if I'm not mistaken. This leads me to my next app, which is RemNote, where you can make flashcards while taking notes. I think this is why when I first learned about RemNote in summer 2020, I legitimately thought that it was one of the most useful innovations in the productivity world in a while. I mean, the time that you will save, it's unbelievable. I wasn't a student anymore when I first learned about RemNote, but I genuinely still think that it's life-changing. On top of that, it doesn't encourage linear thinking because it doesn't really work in folders. And of course, there's also bidirectional linking, etc. I mean, I talk about RemNote a lot on my channel, so I'm not gonna go into detail. Let's go to our next one, which is Notion. I first learned about Notion through an Ali Abdaal video, I'm pretty sure, back in probably like 2019. And I thought it was cool and it was pretty, but I bet because of those, it's not a free app. And side note here, I'm not one of those people who believe that all the apps that an incredible team have worked really hard on should be free. Like, I'm not one of those people. But at this point, I was jaded because the apps that I subscribed to or purchased during that point just did not work for me. Anyways, Notion has a free version. Of course, there was a discount for students. That was pretty awesome. And Notion is like a blank slate. You can do almost anything with it, which is great, but can also be very overwhelming because you don't know where to start. So Notion currently is not my note-taking app, RemNote is, but I definitely use Notion for managing projects. And just the ability to view in different modes is probably one of my favorite features. So I'm gonna put this on life-changing. Next up is GoodNotes, which I think I'm gonna put under game changer. Remember when I told you I used Evernote for my electives? GoodNotes is what I used for my main classes, which was math and economics. Like, it was awesome because I can handwrite notes, I can draw graphs, but I can also easily take a photo of a diagram on the PowerPoint or on the board and then easily insert it in line on that GoodNotes paper. It was perfect. It was awesome. I didn't put it on under life changing because I currently don't use it, but it was a great app, honestly. Okay, next up is Google Calendar. So I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but it's kind of a cycle for me. There are days and sometimes weeks where I don't use my favorite apps at all, but Google Calendar is always constant. If I don't have anything in my Google Calendar, then my life is really not together. Like, that's a good indication. And I also love the Google integration because I use, Gmail and Google Sheets, and I just love automating stuff. So Google Calendar is definitely under life-changing, no doubt. Next app is Informant. Pretty sure I actually forgot the name of this, but this is a calendar management app that I used before Google Calendar. And I think I used for like 2 to 3 years, more than I should have used. And I also purchased this, by the way. So not sure why I bought this when I already have Google Calendar. So I'll put this under forgot about it because I legitimately forgot the app name. And again, I already have Google Calendar, so I don't need another calendar management app. And I'm sure it's a good app, but I guess did not use it properly. I definitely overused color coding, and I spent so much time planning that when it came to executing those tasks, I was just too tired, which was not the app's fault, for the record. It was definitely me. But again, it's a calendar management app. Might as well use Google Calendar. Like, I think it's fine. Next app is Goodreads. It's great how you can organize your to-read, currently reading, and read books. I love that. And how you can input when you started reading it or when you finished it. How you can enter the progress every day by percentage or by page. So I'm gonna put it under good, ? Because I think it does get tiring to track everything. Like, sometimes I just wish to enjoy life, not track everything. I mean, that's an optional feature, like they didn't tell me to actually use that. But I did feel quite a failure when I don't choose to track pages or to track what I'm currently reading, which I guess is on me. Not the app's fault, but I'll still put it under good ? Next app is Wunderlist. And honestly, this was a good app. And it had categories and subtasks, which was useful. This is a really good to-do list app. The reason I'm gonna rank it on, I think I'm gonna put it in game changer. I think I just wouldn't want a separate app for a to-do list. Like, I would rather use Notion, RemNote, or Google Calendar for a to-do list. Okay, 4 apps left. We have Be Focused, Pomodoro, which is a Pomodoro timer. Honestly, I'm not a fan of Pomodoro system. I mean, I think it's great for starting a task, but when I'm deep in the work, I'd rather work on my own time, like 1 hour, 2 hours, and whatever as my break is. I rarely completed the goals for that day based on how many Pomodoro tasks you've done, or how many cycles. I don't know what they're called. But yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna put this on forgot about it. Well, I didn't forget about it, but I'm definitely on the lower tier for me. Again, this is based on how I work and how I think, okay? Next app is Productive Habit Tracker. So I paid for this mobile app as well. Wow, I was paying mobile apps, which is good, because people deserve to get paid. But yeah, I paid for this mobile app and it was so cute. It was super aesthetic. I don't have it anymore, but it's a habit tracker. There are streaks. Your habits are divided by, morning, afternoon, night, weekly, monthly, daily, whatever. You can modify the icon plus the color. But same for Wunderlist. I think I'm gonna put it under good question mark. For tracking habits, I would rather use Notion or Google Calendar for it rather than have a separate app, at least right now. So that's why I'm putting it there. Next app is Craft. Craft is a relatively new app. I think they're marketing it, or I think I heard someone say that it's like Notion, but more intuitive or easier to use. And I did use this for work to set up like an internal company website, and it was true. I definitely learned how to use it faster than I learned how to use Notion. But not sure if it's solely because of Craft's UX UI, or if it's because I already know how to use Notion. When I learned about Notion, it was the first of its kind. Like the toggles, how there's the bar. It was different, so of course there was that learning curve. But because Craft is not the first of its kind, at least on the very basics, maybe that's why I learned how to do it faster. I guess we'll never know. I'm gonna put this on good question mark. This app has so much potential, particularly like how steady they are in releasing features. Seems like they make sure that a particular feature works 100% of the time before jumping to another feature. And I really, truly admire that about them. So yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on this app for sure, but for now, it's under good question mark. And our last app is Audible. So audiobooks get so much hate because it's not considered real reading, and I agree. It's not real reading because it doesn't require that much effort, that much mental effort to focus on the material because you're being read to. But it does still give you the expansion of vocabulary, learning other culture, learning about people's stories. So those are still benefits, and honestly, I'll take it. When I was forcing myself to make reading a habit, Audible was just the best way to go. I love the app, I love the rewards, the badges. Oh, badges are so cute. Definitely motivated me. And the tracking. They do track you how many hours you're on Audible. So, love the app. I'll put this on Game Changer. Do you agree in my rankings? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video.